Welcome to this very special Halloween episode of the Edamame Anime Club. I am your host, Anime Jesus, joined by my co-host,
Anime Chicken.
Great to be here, as always.
It is always great to be here. I am so excited for this episode. This is a special promotion. We originally said earlier we're not going to release anything, but this is a special that we want to give back to you guys because obviously we got to talk about horror anime.
Yeah.
And this is going to be dropped on Halloween night.
Yeah, we're planning to drop this Halloween night.
Yeah, that way we can have everyone notice that we're putting out content. Yeah. And we just want to talk about our favorite anime and what other people are saying. We have a list that we're going to go through and we're going to dive in on whether we think it's horror or not. And there's obviously some on that list that we don't think are horror anime.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's jump into it by first diving deep into what website are we using?
This is a IGN 10 best horror anime.
So background on IGN, they recently dropped a top 24 of the greatest anime ever
of all time. Yeah.
Of all time, and you said that you've always said this, that you can't have a top of anime that's not per genre.
Yeah, I have said that.
Yeah, let me crack open this beer. So
okay. I don't think we need to review these ones.
Yeah, it's Miller Lite. Yeah, we're just drinking.
Dos Equis, lime and salt. Pretty self-explanatory.
Kampai, yeah. But yeah, they so you can't, it's hard, and this is why I wanted to do this episode is because you said it yourself.
Yeah,
it has to be specific per genre.
You can't ask me what anime I think is one of the best. You have to say of what kind of genre, like what's the best mecha anime, because like Gurren Lagann's up there as far as just anime goes in general, but like it's too hard to compare like Death Note and Gurren Lagann, the different genres and stuff
agreed
like that. So you got to specify it to me.
Yeah, like you have to say like if you're saying like my favorite is Neon Genesis, but is that the greatest love anime? Probably not. In my opinion, I would say like more like Your Lie in April. So like you have to be very specific, and this is very specific. Yeah. So let's go down this top 10 list, and if we recognize it, then we'll talk about it. Yeah. What's number 10?
Number 10, Theater of Darkness, Yamashibai.
I've never seen this.
Never heard of it.
I've never heard of it.
Tokyo Ghoul, number 9.
So Tokyo Ghoul actually it has one of the best. I have never watched it, but it has one of the best OSTs.
OSTs?
It's one of the best. It's phenomenal, and I'm sure you even heard it. You probably can't think off the top of your head, but it's one of the best.
Okay.
Yeah, but I have never seen it, so I can't.
Haven't seen it. Apparently, number 9 according to IGN. Number 8, Devilman Crybaby.
If this isn't on your top 10 for horror anime, you are slacking.
Yes, agreed.
This is such a great anime. Like we reviewed this, so make sure to check out the Devilman Crybaby episode. We did a full review on it. It's solid.
Yeah, very solid. Typically encapsulates the horror. Very, very gory, very bloody. Kind of a deep story. I liked it.
It had so many themes to it that had to do with acceptance, had to do with progressiveness, that had to do with humanity, and had to do, of course, with like this Evangelion aspect of it all.
Yeah.
So it was all tied in very well with one of the best, and I'm saying that with an open heart. Top 5 for me, top 3 if best ending anime.
Okay.
That I've ever seen.
Yeah.
All right, number 8.
Both agree. Devilman Crybaby should be in your top 10.
It should definitely be in your top 10.
Paranoia Agent, 2004. Wait, this is actually an anime me and you came close to doing.
We didn't argue. Well, we probably did.
We went back and forth. I mean, we only have so many days a week to watch anime to then make these episodes. But Paranoia Agent almost made it on our list.
It was one of those we were going back and forth. It just did not so we only had 4 full-length videos we could do in 4 first looks or 5 first looks because of the 31 days. Yeah. So it was one of those that was hard to not do. But I was questionable because I was thinking like, man, what if it's close to Fully Cooley? Yeah. Because it kind of reminds me of
the animation, especially this the artwork definitely does look Fully Cooley-esque.
So I was like really honestly pigeon-toed on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we didn't do it, obviously, but I hear it's great. Maybe we'll do it in next year or in a future episode.
Yeah, for sure. Number 6, Parasite, 2014. This one, I've actually seen the first half of it. I kind of binge watched it with my cousin at the time who was telling me how stupid it was. And then I watched it the first episode. I was like, what are you talking about? Like, this is kind of good. And he was like, you know what? Now that I'm rewatching it, it is pretty good.
It's pretty. I've watched the whole season.
Oh, you have? Okay.
I've seen the whole thing, and I couldn't tell you how it ended. It's been years. But it was actually, I don't know if I put it as a horror anime. I would rather put it in a sci-fi, one of those. But it does have horror elements like blood, gore, and everything like that. I wouldn't put it as a top 6, but I would definitely put it, top 15 horror. But really, to me, it's sci-fi.
IGN calls it a body horror sci-fi. Yeah. So,
in my opinion, sci-fi is where it's at on this one.
Yeah,
I wouldn't put it in the horror category, but it does have horror themes to it.
All right. Number 5, Hellsing, 2001. Haven't seen this one, but I know Hellsing's always been goated. Always been goated.
It's made by the same people that made Afro Samurai, I believe.
Is it?
Yeah, and honestly, I think the original artwork was like either it was the motives for drawing, so like the Justice from.
Okay. Justice, I could definitely see that.
Yeah, Justice from Afro Samurai kind of looks similar to Hellsing.
Yeah, Alucard, the main.
Yeah, is that his name?
Yeah, Alucard.
So it looks just kind of like similar to them, and they've been going back and forth with that.
Yeah. All right, number 4, Perfect Blue.
If this is not on your top 3, it's funny because we're gonna go over our top 3 in a little bit.
Yeah.
You are slacking.
You're slacking, or you have poor taste. I'm gonna go ahead and say poor taste. If you watch this and you're one of those people who just finds like problems with it, go watch our episode review. We talk about some of the people that give this negative reviews. Like they're just.
It's so good.
I don't want to be mean, but they're midwits.
Yeah, they're not. They're thinking it. They're taking it as like, oh, nudity, ill. Yeah. Oh, like suggestive scenes, ill. No, this not only could be a number 1 horror anime for some people, top 3, and I will get in that later. But really, if they adapt this into a full length 90s film, and they cast American actors,
oh yeah, for sure,
it would break the box office. Yeah. And this is what I always say is that like anime has the best storytelling, and this is one of the best. I literally today I was nerding off on this movie.
Yeah.
I nerded all over somebody over this movie. Oh, yeah? Like all over her face. Like, yeah, I couldn't stop. I was telling her about, and then I hit her with a twist, bro. And even she didn't even like anime. This was a solid twist. Perfect Blue is phenomenal.
Yeah.
Hands down, it should be. It's what, number 4?
Agreed. Number 4.
All right. I'm curious about these numbers. 3, 2, and 1.
Yeah. All right. Number 3, Boogie Pop Phantom.
Again, another one we argued about.
Yes, we wanted to watch this one and we couldn't come to a consensus.
Well, I'm glad. So when we talked about this, it was either this or Elfen Lied.
Yes, it was either this or Elfen Lied, and I highly enjoyed Elfen Lied.
I agree. I honestly, you told me about it, and I was like, I basically said for you to pick.
Yeah.
And then we decided on this at the end of it, but. It was a phenomenal pick.
Yeah, and honestly, what kind of drove me to Elfen Lied was I was asking some of my friends, my real life friends, they're real.
They're real people.
Yes, I was asking them name a good horror anime, and one response I got back that was uncommon was Elfen Lied, and I had seen it way back when, and I was like, you know what, like. This one might be good.
Yeah, I agree. I think honestly, Elfen Lied isn't horror anime. It's not just horror elements. It's a horror anime.
Yeah, 100% agree.
Yeah. All right. So, but Boogie Pop Phantom, we didn't watch. But
it was a very close call.
Yeah, it was close. Yeah, we almost watched it. Maybe next year we'll watch it. Matter of fact, we should probably do it for next year.
Yeah. All right. Number 2, Higurashi When They Cry, 2006, the old version.
Okay. All right, guys. And we're very transparent with all our fans and everyone that watches us. We did start watching this.
We did. We had actually planned this to be in place of what Elfen Lied. Yes.
Yeah. It was one we started, we watched, and I honestly
it was difficult to find to begin with. And then when I did find it, it was how do you word it? Like not necessarily hard to watch, but like
it was boring.
The first few episodes were very boring.
The first episode, if you watched it, the first episode, you probably would never want to finish it.
Yeah,
you're just going by first episode.
You wouldn't even think it was a horror anime.
Yeah, it was not. It was more of like a thriller, and I think it's episode 3 and then episode 7 where you finally get the horror aspects of it all.
Yeah, and honestly, after watching, I think I got up to episode 7. I actually liked it. I
did too.
It was getting into the horror aspects of it, but again, we were just like.
It was a time thing. Yeah. We had 24 episodes left.
Yeah.
Like full. It was 24 episodes, right?
It was 24, maybe 25, but we'd only watched 7, and we were like crunching down. And that's when I was like, well, what about Elfenlight? Only 13. We're saving ourselves, what, eight episodes?
Yeah. And maybe next, I honestly think we should do Higurashi at some point. And I think we should do it like maybe to kick off the Halloween season next year. Yeah. Because it was a good anime for the one few scenes.
Yeah. It's dated, honestly, looking at the animation. Like it's got the moe style, like they draw like the anime girls like cute style, like with big eyes. And like it's definitely
I didn't like the animation style. I didn't like the cuteness of it all. I didn't like the way they animated motion. So like whenever they were like mad at each other, they were like drawing their hands like going like this, and their eyes like
it's very
it was not for me. And we kind of made the difficult decision to do Elfen Lied, and I honestly think that was the best decision we could have made.
I think we both highly enjoyed Elfen Lied.
Yeah,
watch our full episode on it again.
Oh man, it was so good. It's still go watch it. Yeah, I enjoyed that anime so much, and like whenever you told me it was supposed to be a romance or a love anime, I was like, get the fuck out of here. But like I was teary eyed for a lot of the Elfen Lied, and like maybe are we just talking about Elfen Lied? Fuck Higurashi.
Yeah.
No, but Higurashi definitely was horror.
Definitely, I would agree. Definitely fits the horror theme.
Yeah.
I've heard tons and tons of things about it, and I've always wanted to watch it.
Yeah.
It just wasn't the right time for us whenever we were trying to. So right. maybe next year.
Getting this controversial number one.
Number 1, Death Note.
The fuck?
Is Death Note a horror anime?
Is Death Note a horror anime?
No. Yeah. Is it scary when he's writing in the book? Like
oh my god, he's writing in a chip bag. He's writing death people. It's not a horror anime.
Ryuk is borderline like the comedic relief, and like what, I'm supposed to be terrified. I mean, granted, the designs and some of the stuff of the death gods are scary, but as far as horror, like
no, like there's no horror to it. It's really just it's not even a thriller.
It's like a drama mystery.
It's a drama mystery suspense, maybe.
Yeah.
And Ryuk being the only like horror part of it all. Mm-hmm. I can't kid you not that they put IGN put this as number 1.
Yeah.
Like who
just because.
Like they you know why I think they put it there? Because it's a mainstream mystery anime that everyone loves.
Like the scariest character in this entire thing isn't Ryuk, it's probably Light.
Light is definitely the scariest in it. Yeah. Like that final, like the scene where spoiler alerts for Death Note. And if you haven't seen Death Note, go watch it. Spoilers right now for the next 1 minute.
All right.
Light, whenever L dies, he does that scene where he's like, I finally won. Yeah. He's like, it's very it's prominent. Like it's definitely it's paramount for that whole thing about him finally beating L.
Yeah.
And that scene was kind of scary.
Yeah, it's kind of creepy. Yeah, he's now realizing the power of God within himself, and he's fucking, his ego's going out of control at this moment. Yeah. So good scene. Yeah. How horror is that? I don't know.
IGN, you guys are slacking. Go ahead and comment, everyone. Tell me if IGN's slacking, because Death Note is not a horror anime.
All right. So one of their honorable mentions, they say the latest upcoming season of horror anime involves Demon Slayer.
Spooky. We've talked about this before. But Demon Slayer is not a horror anime.
Not a horror anime.
It's shonen.
Yeah. Straight shonen. Yeah, horror elements. I don't know. That'd be like saying Inuyasha is a horror.
Yeah, we said that's like saying Bleach is horror.
Yeah.
Where is it scary anywhere on Demon Slayer? It's not. There's no spooky scenes in that one.
Yeah. All right. Another one that they got that I would agree with.
All right.
Attack on Titan. Is that a horror anime?
No.
The first season, yes. First season, I think, is a horror anime.
I could not disagree with you more. Attack on Titan is not a horror anime. Let's at the fan side. Let us know in the comments if you think Attack on Titan is a horror anime. Let us know. I'm gonna promote this video and get everyone on this. I gotta know, guys. It's not horror. It's like saying Kabanari the Iron Fortune is a horror anime.
I haven't seen that one, but I was definitely scared and felt like scared for the main characters in like the first half of season 1. Like there was that horror element. Like there's the whole mystery behind the Titans. Granted, after that they throw I don't know. I was about to say the manga writer's name. I can't think of it off the top of my head. Yeah.
But like it's there's like one scene that's like to me is spooky, is like or horror is really like the introduction of the Titans.
I don't know.
Knowing about them, like the way they run, like the not just the regular Titans, the abnormal Titans.
Yeah.
That's where it like got me, like, the way they run.
I thought it was horror. Yeah, you guys let me know.
Let us know in the comments.
All right.
Was there another honorable mention?
No,
Elfen Lied was in the top 10.
It was not in the top 10.
Elfen Lied was in the top 10. All right, IGN, you guys are slacking. Hands down, you're slacking. I don't give a shit.
All right, this guy comments and says Tokyo Ghoul is not a horror anime. So
so we got that.
Also,
yeah, what's his name? Give him. If it's appropriate.
It doesn't give his name.
Oh, okay.
IGN's website.
No names.
Yeah. One thing he does say is the absence of season 1 of Promised Neverland.
I was gonna get in that. Actually, it's on my list here. I'll talk about it a little bit.
All right.
Sorry, Charles.
Yeah. Another guy agrees with him. Promised Neverland. Yeah, your number 1 horror anime isn't a horror, which is Death Note. So. All right, we gotta get people
hey, we have support.
Yeah. I didn't read those comments beforehand, by the way.
Yeah, we didn't read these comments beforehand. So let's get into a little bit about that. So first off, let's talk about the anime we watched for the October season, for the Halloween season. So really the very first one, which is the first one?
You gotta think. We're talking about first looks.
Yeah, no, it was the first look. I mean, pop up with the YouTube account. Yeah, because I know Devilman Crybaby was one of the ones we did, and I really pitched that one to you, and I was like, dude, you gotta watch it. You've already seen some of it.
Yeah.
And I think that we needed to watch it because it is. I don't know if it's considered horror, but honestly, in my opinion, when you talk about devils, murder, slaughter, mystery, like, and good music, like, like, it's definitely horror to me.
First one of this was Devilman Crybaby. That was the first week.
Perfect. That's a great kicker off. I mean, IGN obviously agree, but I don't know if I want to be on their same playing field, but like, they agree that it is a horror anime, and I agree.
I'm glad you chose that one. No, it was a good one. I was a little on the fence. I had seen it before, and all I kind of really remembered was the over the top like violence and then nudity. But upon rewatch, it was really good.
If you rewatch our last episode when I talk about the last scene, I actually almost I don't know if you caught that. My voice got raspy.
Yeah, I did.
I was tearing up almost because of watching it again. Like, it made me feel like so much emotions, dude. Yeah. And that's what anime does to me. It says I invest with these characters and I put my heart and soul in when I watch them, and that hit me hard.
Yeah. Honestly, people like to rag on people who quote unquote self-insert into anime characters, but like if you don't identify them in any certain way or like connect to these characters on certain aspects or identify them with any way, like why are you watching anime?
Like, how can you enjoy it?
Yeah.
Like, how can you enjoy it if you're like, that'll never happen?
And honestly, take that with any medium, movies, your TV shows.
Yeah, no, facts. Like, yeah. So that was our first one. Great.
Yeah. Devilman Crybaby.
And what's our first look after that?
Our original first look was Meruko-chan,
which is definitely hard. How is that not on top 10 IGN?
I don't know.
That's a horror anime at like face value.
Yeah.
Where it had ghosts, it was spooky, the animation was like intense.
It had its scary moments. Yeah. Like that one was more like pop scares, like jump scares. If anime could do it.
Yeah, they could do it. It was pretty close because like the monsters were really spooky.
Yeah.
Yeah, hands down, that was actually, I agree. Yeah.
Yeah. The next one we do on our first look is High Rise Invasion, which I wasn't really feeling it at first, but after
you're watching it, aren't you?
Currently. Yeah, no, I am now currently watching it. Yes.
It was definitely I watched some of it. I watched the whole series, but I was super wasted when I watched it. So I don't remember any of it. But rewatching the first 2 episodes, it brought back all these like nostalgia when it first, well, it's not even nostalgia. When it first came out, I was really invested in it, and like it was still held up, man. It was so good, and like I guess the only feedback I ever had was that the main character can't shoot or shit, which is true. But that one is definitely. Do you think that's a horror anime?
I think it's a horror anime.
I think it's a horror anime. Yeah, it definitely was like slasher style of anime.
Yeah, for sure. And then our next full episode we did was Perfect Blue. Dude, I love this movie so much. Like, I'm so glad you picked that. And honestly, I'd heard of it. You're the one who like pushed me on it.
Yeah, because it was bad. We had to really search for it.
Yeah, we did.
We had to pay for it, I think. Yeah. And it was something that like it was either that one or Paprika.
Yeah, we were talking about Paprika, yeah.
But I don't know which one's better, but maybe we'll do Paprika in the later episode. But like, man, I was so invested with this, and it was great. Everything was great, and then the ending was phenomenal.
Yeah, that twist at the end, like honestly, every single aspect of that, like past like the first 15-20 minutes where it starts to get the ball rolling, like it just like it's hitting you.
I was so invested with this one, dude. And it's a movie.
Yeah.
So like a movie, I'm invested with like a lot of the anime I watch, like Devilman Crybaby, but it took them like 10 episodes to get me there.
Yeah.
Here, it took me 45 minutes and I was hooked.
Yeah.
Man, it was so good. And if you can look past like and I'm not saying look past, if you are sensitive to SA and things like that, like scenes like that are suggestive, then maybe you should avoid it.
Yeah. Not only that,
trigger warning.
There's some people that are out there like that are like, oh, I can't watch it because the animation style. You can just tell it's old. It didn't deter me at all. It's kind of like take video games for example. Oh, it has to have the best graphics. So like, what? You can't go play any of the classics.
You can't play Metal Gear Solid 1.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
No, honestly, I was more invested with that more than anything because I like the '90s anime.
Yeah,
phenomenal.
Yep. Next episode we did first look on Blood Sea.
We got a lot of heat on that one.
Yeah, we did.
People were actually we had posted a clip about is Blood Sea a horror anime, and we both said no.
Yeah.
People went in on us.
Yeah, they did.
They said. I forgot the comments, but they were like comparing like the most horrific horror movie, and they said not horror comedy. That's what they're saying, dude. It was so funny, and we appreciate the comments, guys. We want you to comment, but like it was so funny. They said like I have to look at the comment.
Didn't he say that someone comment like big brain take from like Anime Nobodies or something like that? Like,
well, they said they were saying like it was hard to it's hard to decipher these comments.
Yeah. I read it as negative.
I read it as positive. They're saying like people don't know what horror anime is.
Oh, okay.
And I was thinking like, and maybe they're suggesting that we do. We're just anime lovers. We love watching anime, but like this one was, I didn't consider from the first 2 episodes of horror. And somebody commented like, you should watch like Blood, the original ones, like the full series. And like we might one day, but like honestly, after watching Blood Sea, I don't want to commit to an anime that I know I might not like. But granted, the character development on the original, like on the character, I forget her name, was phenomenal.
Yeah,
it was great. She did a good job.
Yeah, and that's the only character I really remember. And they tried to throw like 9 different characters at me.
Yeah, it was not gonna happen. All right, what do you got next?
All right, next one we did was full episode Serial Experiments Lane.
Fuck me.
Honestly, and I am there with you. Like I was thinking about this anime like all day. Like I'd watch we try to watch the whole anime up to the point where we air it, and we watch the last 2 episodes on the day that we film. Like, I'd be watching like episode 7 and 8, and I'll just be trying to think like, man, what exactly happened? Like,
there was a lot of rewatching.
Yeah, it required rewatching, and I honestly liked that. Like, I liked the highly interpretational aspect of it. Like, it doesn't spoon feed you in any way, shape, or form.
Like this, and I said it on the actual episode. Again, check the episode out. I said that like they had a hard time pitching it.
Yeah,
like I would love to be in the room where they pitched this idea because it was original.
Yeah,
it was original. Nobody was doing this, and they even questioned whether they're stealing from Neon Genesis, which is me again. I talked about this on the episode about how like it was totally opposite. Like they're not even, it's not comparable.
Yeah, and
there were some scenes that were pretty, and we talked about like the final like the whole like consciousness shit.
Yeah.
But like reality is that like it was totally different. It was a brand new idea. I compare this like Matrix stole some shit from there probably. But really like it was so good.
Yeah.
And I honestly I really want to do a rewatch. I'm not doing it now, but I will eventually. Because I feel like every time you rewatch it, you're gonna get something better.
This is one of those anime that I guarantee you is very rewatchable, and you will have a different take on it
every time. Yeah. It was so good. And we'll talk about that later, but like, what's the next one we have?
We did a first look on Ga Ray Zero, which I kind of pitched this one. I kind of insisted on it. I just really wanted Steve to see the end of the first episode.
It was a good anime. Would I consider horror? No.
And I
think horror. We even talked about that. You said that you don't think it's horror either. You said that it has horror elements.
Yeah, horror elements. To me, it stuck out in one of those anime that I will always remember just because it's the first time I've ever seen it. They kill off the entire first half by the end of the first episode.
Which was a great scene.
Yeah.
And honestly,
and to me, I thought was the part that invoked the horror aspect of it. But I guess he's right. It's just horror elements.
Yeah, and it was a good scene.
Yeah,
like I'm not gonna take a like just because we're saying it's not a horror anime doesn't say we're not saying it's good.
Yeah,
it is good. It was. I'm gonna eventually finish that one. I might do the whole was it Guy Rise series?
Guy Ray series, yeah. You have to read the manga.
Yeah, I might get invested in that maybe one day, but as of right now, like it's not in the card in the deck of cards.
Yeah.
So like, and I hope, and I know you guys probably, or we've talked about it all the time, is that we actually watch the entire show before we talk about it.
Yeah.
Like we don't just jump in here and talk. We actually watch the entire series, or well, entire season, and talk about it. And if it's really good, we might do a season 2 on an episode, or on an anime. But we watch this and like firsthand, like obviously great ending.
Yeah.
If you're not hooked by the ending, it was, but I didn't think it was hard though.
Okay, fair enough.
All right, what do you got next?
And the last episode we did was
when you're saying last, you mean because we're gonna drop
most recent
one, but we are having an anime drop on Monday, and then this one's dropping on Tuesday.
Yeah. So we got a surprise for you, I guess.
Yeah, this is the surprise.
This is the surprise.
Okay. Monday is the first look, like always.
Okay.
Got it.
Yeah. We did Elfen Lied, which we already talked about. Beat out Higurashi in the review we were gonna do.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
There's nothing it was horror, sci-fi, everything I wanted in an anime. It was.
Yeah, and I was the one who kind of pitched this one. I had reserves on it because I wasn't sure how well it would hold up. Because I think we mentioned it in our full episode. Go watch it. It was the very first anime I'd ever seen, like outside of Cartoon Network. Like the very first anime I ever went out of my way to watch that wasn't like mainstream, just airing on TV. And I watched that one, probably like 2006, maybe 2005. So, I was worried that it would be dated, that I was just looking at through nostalgia goggles. I knew it was kind of controversial and like the amount of nudity it had and some of the romance, I guess, because it's it's Sweet Home Alabama, but
it's not fan service per se. It's like legit, like just nudity.
Yeah.
And that took off some points when I did do the rating on Elfen Lied. But honestly, I wouldn't take that. I'm so glad you introduced me to that anime.
It doesn't detract from it at all.
And I'm going to give homage to this guy right here. He's introduced me to my favorite anime. And then he introduced me to Elfen Lied, which is tops for me. It's phenomenal. So like he introduced me to Neon Genesis Evangelion. I didn't even know it existed.
I forget what we were doing, and I think I showed you like movie number 1.
You showed me the entire, like, it's like the review of it all.
Oh,
and,
okay.
Like you showed me like whatever the movie is, I can't think of it. It's not the 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Okay.
It's like its own spinoff or separate, but it covers all of them. And I never been more invested. But then you showed me Elfen Lied, and I was like, yo, this anime is so good. Now, granted, I took off points for the nudity of certain scenes and the fan service. I don't think you need nudity and fan service.
Yeah.
I think either one is fine. But together, it's like, what's the point?
Yeah.
Like, what's the point of like, oh, full frontal nude,
mm-hmm.
and then your boobies are popping out in a tank top.
Yeah.
No need. So that's why I took off points for it, and not just the nudity, but there's other things to talk about. Watch the full episode.
Yeah.
But definitely it was the last one. And then we just recently filmed the Junji Ito collection, and obviously check that one out.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that one is really good. I'm so invested in it that I want to start watching some of it.
Definitely. To me, it's like kind of like the ABCs of Death, right? That's what it's called.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely like it's something you could pick up and watch a few episodes and like, come back to it. It's not like there's no concrete storyline, so you can just kind of watch it in meal piece. And
yeah, you can watch one episode and you'll be okay.
Yeah.
Watch 2 episodes, be okay. You can watch the 4th episode first and be okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like that's the beauty of an anthology, is that you can pick it up wherever you left off, or you can pick it up anytime you want, because it doesn't matter. It's like Black Mirror or these other anime or the other.
And they're all short, like 10, 11 minutes.
Well, the full episodes for the collection are like 23 minutes, but like each episode is like 11, 12 minutes.
Yeah.
So I definitely think you should check it out. Great, Junji Ito, being Junji Ito, putting out some bangers. All right. Now that we talked about what we filmed, whether we thought they were horror, and just like our not the synopsis, but like our review on
our initial reactions.
Yeah, on the anime that we've already done.
Yeah.
Let's talk about our top 3.
Top 3 horror anime overall.
Let's go for 3 first.
All right, number 3.
What do you got for number 3? Tell me why.
So you're probably gonna come at me and tell me that it's not a horror anime.
I'll refrain.
I'm gonna go with Casher and Sins, which I know you're not familiar with that. It's just like so dark, so like depressing. Like it's horror anime, and like the idea of the world building, like it's like cataclysmic, like the world's ending, like nothing good is happening, like all the people are fucking like starving and dying, and like the main character who's the hero is like basically a monster, like everyone is afraid of him, like nobody trusts him. Like I thought Casher and Sins was a horror anime.
Casher.
Casher and Sins.
I'll check it out. I can't give you any feedback because I never watched it.
Yeah.
But I mean, it just sounds like you're talking about like apocalyptic type events.
Yeah.
Or like the Great Depression, starving. Like to me, I mean that could be considered horror anime. And again, I know you think that I go after people for like what they say is horror.
Yeah.
I'm going after IGN because they said Death Note's horror. But really, like horror is whatever you make it to be.
Yeah.
If you're scared by an anime, then it's horror.
I see. It's very rare that like horror makes me feel scared. I feel like more like uneasy or unsettled or just like on the edge of my seat.
Like it's eerie.
Yeah. So to me, Casher and Sins falls into that.
So I put Promised Neverland as
your number 3?
I should say Promised Neverland season 1.
Okay. And see, I'm not familiar with this at all. You'd have to give me like a brief rundown of it.
It's basically these kids that are like, they're just like in an orphanage, and every so often, I think it's been a while since, but when they turn to a certain age, or when it really goes off their brain, like if they're really smart, then they get selected to go off and not be adopted, but go on to, they don't know what happens to them, this orphanage, and they go off, and it turns out that they're giving the little kids to these demonic creatures that eat them. And the more brains you have, the more like tasty you are. And it's really horror mystery, but as you go along, you really like some of these characters, and you really invest with them. Now the only drop off is season 2 was ass. And everyone can agree with me on that. But season 1 was so good. All right, what do you got for number 2?
Number 2, I'm gonna have to go with Serial Experiments Lane.
Ooh.
Dude, I honestly could not stop thinking about it as it was airing, and I was like just blown away by it. Like, call me pretentious or whatever you want, but like there was just too much to gain from it, too much to think about, too many like different aspects to like look at it, and like there was a few scenes where like I was legitimately like chilled to the bone. Like I felt cold, like like my fucking fingers were numb. It's very hard to do. Like I said, I don't really get scared. I get like that eerie, uneasy feeling, like tip of my seat, like on edge, and it did it for me a few times.
It is definitely a horror anime, if anything, and I agree, dude. I felt the same way. And so that's number 2.
I'll say number 2. Yeah,
that's a good number 2. I like that. Yeah, that's a great number 2. Is that on the IGN top list?
Let me go look.
By the way, y'all can find that anime on YouTube.
Oh yeah, we were talking.
Yeah,
about
we were talking about that. It's on YouTube.
Yeah,
right
Perfect
now.
Blue is number 4, and I named it number.
No, you said Serial Experiments Lane.
Oh, my bad. Yeah, no, it's not even on this.
Yeah, I mean, obviously this is slacking.
Yeah.
So you're probably, I think I know what your number 1 is, but I think your number 1 is my number 2. It's Perfect Blue.
Yep.
So and I'll talk, and then you can jump in afterwards, because it's gonna go right into you anyways for your number 1.
Yeah.
Perfect Blue is definitely just the perfect idea of what a horror anime should be. It has a lot of it covers all the bases. So first off, music. It covers the music that leads you into the horror scenes. It also has this villain, this monstrous villain, grotesque villain that's in there that you think is the actual monster. It has this mental stability issue where she's having issues with mentally thinking about, she's like bringing up this persona of her former self coming back over and over again, that's creating this horror. And then it also has a slasher style idea, and it has this big twist.
What really makes this one top for me is that it makes you question what's really happening. Like you feel like you're going insane right alongside the main character.
Agreed.
Like it pulls it off so well.
Yeah. So I agree 100%. Like they did such a great job, and the way they did it was like they made it where you're either in a movie, or you're in reality.
Yeah.
And they kept going back and forth, and it just so happens that it was like analogous.
Yeah, it was overlaying each other like so well. What was happening in real life, what was happening in the film that they're playing. Like even you didn't really know what was happening until it was like cut, break, like good shot everybody, and you're just like,
my God,
yeah, oh dude. Shit, like, yeah.
There was like one scene in there where it talks about her in the movie, and I was,
yeah,
it blew my mind, bro. So yeah, kudos to being your number one, dude. That's a great number one pick. Perfect Blue is a phenomenal horror anime, and if you have not seen it, check it out. It is the best. It's tops for. I mean, you obviously not for me, but it made my number 2.
Yeah. Again, we just mentioned you could actually watch this one on YouTube, so no need to.
Well, that was Serial Experiment Lane.
Oh, I thought Perfect Blue was also on YouTube.
Yeah, we had to pay for that.
Oh.
We had to pay for that fucker. We had to pay on Amazon Prime.
All right, what's your number one? I'm curious.
You guess. I just want you to throw a guess.
Fuck, I don't know. Maybe number 3, number 2 again.
My number 3 was Promise Neverland. Number 2 is Perfect Blue.
Elfen Lied.
Oh, but that actually will crack my. That's number 5 for me. Top 5. You already said it. Serial Experiment Lane.
Oh, really?
Dead ass.
So we switched off on our number 1 and number 2. Okay.
Serial Experiment Lane. Dude, it was so fucking good, and so most people, and they don't know this. Like I'll give y'all. We actually watch anime together.
Yeah.
Like we'll watch full. So normally we watch like almost full series together. So we'll watch like 6 episodes on a Friday, and then 6 episodes on like a Sunday, and then we'll watch the last 3 episodes together.
Yeah.
Either way, we're always watching together. But this is one of the few ones where we watch separately.
Yeah, we did watch this separately.
We had to watch separately because of our schedules. And watching it, I had to rewatch it a couple times.
Yeah.
And then the beauty of rewatching it like separately is that we came together and brought in different takes.
Yeah, for sure. That was highly interesting. I like the discussion on that.
Yeah, it was so like there was a scene where he talked about like, oh, is she just bringing like notice that this guy's no longer God? And then I was bringing up like she just made him not a god, and we talked about that for a little bit. And I remember thinking like, damn, dude, we watched the same anime, but we have different takes on it, and that made it way more interesting. But also, just as a general thought, like the anime was so good. And if you like The Matrix, it was like, I love The Matrix, dude. Yeah. Watching The Matrix as a kid blew me away.
It's amazing that this came out before The Matrix, to be honest.
And then the ending, the final episode, and then they had this time jump, and like it was just like emotional to me. And I remember thinking about like I watched it, and I remember like my eyes getting teary-eyed, and like it's definitely this horror aspect of sci-fi. It had like mystery, it had death, it had a slasher, it had it all for me.
Yeah.
So I put that as number 1 because I want to rewatch it again, and I know when I rewatch it, it's gonna be a whole different anime for me.
Yeah.
It's one of the few that do that. So people that put like Demon Slayer as a horror anime, no, that's face value. That's gonna be what you get at.
Yeah.
This one, rewatch it, and you get to relive a different story every time.
Entirely different experience.
So yeah. So what did you got? Can you give me the top 3 again?
Number 3, I said Casher and Sins.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2 was Serial Experiments Lane, and then number 1 was Perfect Blue.
So I had Promised Neverland, Perfect Blue, and Serial Experiments Lane. You have any honorable mentions just to throw out there?
Honorable mentions on horror anime.
Elfen Lied was a honorable mention that would have cracked my top 3. I mean, it might have. I mean, it's close, but it's wouldn't.
I would say Ergo Proxy. That's also an old anime.
Yeah.
Been a while since I've seen it. It also kind of ties into like the post-apocalyptic, like death of the earth kind of thing.
Yeah. Erase is a mystery anime. I don't think it's technically horror in the sense that like it's jump scares or scares or anything else, but like it definitely was a good mystery, but it was more of a thriller for me. Higurashi would have been a good one. Honestly, it did get horror themed later on.
Yeah. We'd have to finish watching it.
Yeah, there's more to it.
So one of the animes I was pitching at you. I don't know if it's a horror anime. I kind of say it is, but thinking about it, it's not. But I wanted to watch School Days.
Yeah.
I keep telling him not to spoil himself on that we're gonna watch it.
I have not spoiled myself. I promise.
Don't spoil it.
I'm not. Yeah.
It's called School Days. Pretty infamous. I don't know if any of y'all have seen it, but
yeah, if y'all check it out, I don't know. I've never heard of it. That's an honorable mention, you're saying? It might not be.
It
might be just a mention.
Yeah, it's okay. Not an honorable mention. It's a mention. It's You watch it because it's its own experience on itself. I don't know if I could say it's good though.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's hard. Sometimes anime, like I when I pitched you like and you've already seen it, like High School DD, like you were you were like super excited to watch it.
Yeah.
And it's not the best anime. Prison School is not the best anime. We watch it because it's funny, it's enjoyable.
Yeah. Yeah, so what's enjoyable doesn't necessarily have to be good.
Like a great anime. It has to be deep and meet all the check marks for you to be like, that's a good anime.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just watch anime to watch anime.
No, I definitely have my like soap opera type animes, my guilty pleasures.
Exactly. You need and you need to have that. Maybe we'll do a full episode where we talk about our guilty pleasures.
Yeah.
But yeah, so and hey, let us know what you think is your top 3 horror anime.
You got any before we end this, you got any overrated horror anime you've attempted to watch?
Yeah, what's the overrated anime you're tempted to watch? Yeah, let us know.
I got one.
What do you got?
Monster. That shit fucking sucks.
Oh my god, dude.
I hate that anime.
You're really about to piss off everyone. Monster is like a top.
No, it's not. It is not. I don't care what you say. That fucking shit sucks.
All right. Well, yeah, I don't know. You're right. What other overrated anime are we watching? That's that. If you're saying it's overrated, I think Cowboy Bebop is overrated. But it's not a horror.
I said horror though.
Yeah, we're thinking horror. I mean, obviously, Guy Rai Zero. I think it's overrated if it's considered horror. Yeah, that's not a horror anime.
All right, we're getting off topic here.
Yeah. Well, all right. Thanks, guys, for watching. I hope you enjoyed this Halloween special. And we'll be doing specials every once in a while, throwing them out there for the holidays, for the seasons. Obviously, we've been drinking. He's Jesus. I'm a chicken. We got nothing left, guys. We'll catch you guys later. All right. Bye.
Later. May you all be absolved of sin.